All right, guys, thank you. Jaelen is now with us. We will open it up for questions again. Before we start, just raise your digital hand and we'll call on you. We will start things off with Rich Thompson of the Boston Herald.
Hello, Jaelen. Thanks for taking some time here. Could you just walk us through converting from a high school running back to a wide receiver? What went into that process?
So basically, going into college, I knew I was going to be going to a receiver. So Coach Hartline at Ohio State, Coach Keenan Bailey were the ones that really helped, transform me into a receiver. It was a little bit difficult at first. It took a little while. I'm still learning a lot of stuff. It took a little bit, but now I feel like, I'm confident. I believe that I'm a good receiver now, and I just want to keep learning.
You believe you could be a guy that they could split out and stretch the field and open things up for the other receivers on the team?
Yes, sir. I believe that I can split out. I believe I can play anywhere from the backfield, slot, wide out. Wherever the coaches need me, I'm going to play.
We'll go next to Bill Landis with the Athletic.
Hey, Jaelen. I wanted to ask you about just making this change. Remember when you committed a couple of years ago to Ohio State, you talked a lot about, growing up with an Ohio State fan, and you talked about your grandfather and the promise you made him. And I'm just curious, it seemed more than a typical kind of commitment. It seemed a little deeper than that. So just how difficult was it to leave that? And I guess what were some of the reasons why you did?
It was definitely very deep, my commitment. My last conversation with my grandfather, before he had passed, I had mentioned in high school, but I had told him I was coming to Ohio State. He was a big Ohio State fan. And then as time went on, at my time at Ohio State, when I felt it was the best decision for me and my family to look elsewhere, it was definitely difficult because, it was weighing on me because I did tell my grandfather that I was going to be playing for Ohio State and that I'll make him proud playing and being a Buckeye. But I felt that, my grandfather would understand. He would want me to do what's best for myself. So we went that route.
And I know Coach Hafley was obviously there when you were there, and there's some other guys on the staff who were also at OSU when you were there. Were you close with any of those guys while you were together at Ohio State, or how did this connection, I guess, start, and who were your closest relationships with?
I already had a solid relationship with Coach Hafley, Coach Stern. I really had a good relationship. I met with everybody on staff. Hafley came up to me a lot during spring ball last year. I had a really good spring last year, and he would just tell me all the time, how much have you thought of me, and that he thought I could be a really good player. And once I decided to look elsewhere, like I said, he was one of the first coaches, if not the first coach to reach out to me. So I already knew that what he was saying to me was stand up, and it was honest, because he's a straight up honest guy. And I just felt comfortable. I just felt like I was going to be taken care of, the most here. So
we'll go next to AJ Black.
Hey, Jaelen, how's it going?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. My question for you, now that you've been on campus, what has the day-to-day life been like, given the new restrictions and schedules that you have to follow?
Can you please repeat that one more time?
Yep. So now that you're on campus, what does your day-to-day schedule look like? What does a typical day look like now that you're, at Boston College and that you have to kind of follow the COVID restrictions?
Yeah. So, obviously I'll wake up and, I'll shower or whatever, and then I'll go to the training table. That's where breakfast is, and that's where we have meals to take home after your workout, and that's around I think 9 o'clock in the morning. So go there, and then my workout starts now. It changed from last week. I was at 10:30, now I'm at 12:45. So workouts usually around 2 hours long. So I'll do that, and after the workout, I'll go back to the training table. If they have food out there, I'll go eat there, or I'll just go back to my room and I'll eat there.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Trevor Haas with Boston.com.
Hey, how's it going, Jim?
Good. How you doing?
Welcome to Boston.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
No problem. So it seems like you have a lot to prove, kind of a chip on your shoulder, and you just want to prove people wrong, kind of. And BC kind of seems like the same thing. Like they're entering a new era. They want to kind of prove that they belong in the ACC as one of the contenders. So just how much is that tie into your beliefs, and just how do you feel like those two can align?
With me, it's not really me trying to prove anybody wrong. it's really me just trying to prove myself and my close ones and everybody around me right, because I have a lot of faith in myself. My immediate family, my friends, all have a lot of faith in me. So I've always believed that I can make a big impact. Whatever role I have, whatever the role the coaches give me, I feel like I can change the game in any way. And I feel like Boston College trying to change things around here. I believe that they definitely tie in together because we're all, like I said with me, I'm trying to prove myself right, but we're trying to prove the rest of the country wrong as well at the same time. So there's definitely like a lot that goes into it, and I'm just really excited to get the season started.
Thanks.
We'll go next to Julian Bembo with Boston Globe.
What's going on, Joe?
How you doing?
Doing all right. How you liking Boston so far?
I like it so far. It's kind of rough because nothing's open. We
I was about to
quarantine.
say, you can't see too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I had a couple of sets of questions. I'll let you go with these ones. But one, just simple, man. What went into the decision to transfer? What made BC appealing to you? And you said Jeff was one of the first people to reach out. What do you say?
What made me decide to leave? I had battled people to try and get on the field at my H position at Ohio State for a while, and I had a couple lengthy conversations with my position coach, Coach Hartline, and after those talks, I just felt like it was best to reach out with my family and discuss what the next step was, and that's when we decided we felt the best decision for me was to look elsewhere, and that's when, like I said, that's when Coach Hafley reached out, and that's when I got the ball rolling with everything. And as far as what made it appealing, I just felt like I was going to be taken care of the most here. I'm not really worried about none of the rah-rah, like all the ways they recruit people, this and that. I'm just ready to get to work and win some games, my new teammates and coaches, and so yeah.
And I think the other set was it just sounded like you just in reading some of the quotes from last year, it sounded like it was a learning experience for you. You talked a little bit about consistency. 1 week of practice, another week of practice. And then also just kind of the challenges of being like a hometown product, highly touted recruit. How much did you learn just from that experience, whether it was the pressures or the competition, and what did you take from it?
I look at my time at Ohio State definitely as a learning experience. It's a great program. I have nothing but love and respect for them. I learned a lot from the guys that were in front of me and that were around me. A lot of the veterans in the past, like Paris Campbell, Terry McLaurin, Johnny Dixon stuff, KJ Hill, all those guys kind of, they were people that were before me, that were playing in front of me. So I just sat back, watched, worked as hard as I could, and just learned from those guys.
Is being away from home going to be different for you?
It's definitely going to be different. Being a hometown kid. And to answer your last question, I apologize. To answer your last question, there's a little pressure being a hometown kid. Ohio State's only 15 minutes away from where I live. So, whenever I come back with it, people asking questions like, why you're not playing this, that. But kind of just blocked it out, kept tunnel vision, stayed focused. So, yeah.
It's still going to be cold, so don't worry about that one.
It's definitely going to be cold, a little colder. I'm used to the cold, though, but I'm not really worried about it.
Appreciate it.
We'll go next to Dan Hope with 11 Warriors.
Hey, Jaelen, good to see you. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned that conversation you had with Coach Hartline and ultimately making that decision to leave Ohio State. Kind of what was it about, that conversations you had with your family that made you realize, I don't know if my time's going to come here at Ohio State?
The conversation, what I got out of the conversation is just that, I'll be struggling going into camp. I'll be struggling for the starting spot, to earn the starting spot. So I'll be a little bit down in the depth chart. So, after that conversation, I talked with my family, and I didn't really play much. I had 7 or 8 catches in my career at Ohio State. So we just felt it was the best opportunity to leave and come here where I'll have a better opportunity.
Obviously, when you arrived at Ohio State, the H-back was kind of more of a big thing, and then it became more of a true slot receiver in your years there. Do you think that hurt you at all, that kind of transition in the offense there?
I'm not really sure. Coach Meyer he was really big on the H-back position. Coach Day liked the H position as well, but he did turn in, a little bit more of a true receiver. I'm not sure what exactly played into it, or why or how it was kind of taken out or whatever. But I was just trying to learn as much as I could and doing whatever I could to get on the field.
Are there things that you look back on and say, this is why I couldn't get on the field at Ohio State. This is something I can do better now that I'm at Boston College to make sure I do get on the field?
Yeah, like I said, it was a big learning experience for me. The things that I did at Ohio State, I'm trying to come here. I'm trying to have a clean slate. I want to change the whole narrative, whatever narrative was there about me or whatever. I just want to come here and work as hard as I can, gain respect from everybody, everybody around me, and just, like I said, get the season started.
Thank you, Jaelen. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll go next to Emma Healy with the Heights.
Hi, Jaelen.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So, what did your conversations with Coach Hafley look like while you were considering the move to BC? Was there anything specific that you guys focused on that you were talking about that stood out to you about those conversations?
Coach Hafley just was really trying to make sure that I knew that I would be taken care of. Because, going to a new school, you don't know exactly what you're getting into. It's a whole new set of coaches. And like I said, coming here, I felt really comfortable just from my previous relationship with Coach Hafley. He was just kind of emphasizing how much that they'll take care of me, whatever goes wrong. They'll have my back at the end of the day. And, football, tomorrow's not promised. You never know, get injured or whatever. So, that was really good to hear that he really wants to take care of me here. So that was probably the biggest part.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously coming into a new school, it's going to be sort of tricky. You got to build new relationships with all your teammates and all of that sort of thing. How have your relationships with your teammates started looking so far already now that it's been a few weeks of training camp?
Since the first day, they welcomed me in with open arms. Team's really embracing me. The whole program's really embracing me right now. And that's really all you can ask for, when you go into a new spot. So I'm blessed right now. I feel like I'm in a great position. I'm happiest I've been in a while. So I'm just excited.
Great, thank you.
We'll go next to Dan Rubin with BCEagles.com.
Jaelen, welcome to Boston.
Appreciate it.
Glad to get you out here, but just when you were in the transfer portal when you first jumped in, what other programs took a look at you, reached out, and what stood out about BC among them that ultimately made your decision?
Schools like Florida. I had some conversations with Florida. I had some conversations with North Carolina. I also spoke with Pitt. Those were probably USC, Baylor. Baylor was a big one as well. So those were schools I was communicating with that felt like, I had potential to come in and make a big impact really early. But I feel like I have, the same opportunity here with people I already know, I already have, solid relationships with. So on top of not only having the opportunity, but I know for a fact that I'll be taken care of, that I really couldn't say no to it.
Just to build off a couple other questions I know were asked, when we talk about the HVAC, your skill set in particular, and when you had meetings with Coach Hafley, with Coach Signetti, with everyone, how do you see yourself building into that side, or with your skill into what they presented to you?
I believe, like I said before, I believe I can play anywhere. So wherever Coach Hafley, Coach Signetti believe that I'll succeed the most, that's what I'm going to do, and that's what will put me. Whether it's, taking reps in the backfield, whether it's in slot or split out wide, I believe I can do all of those at a really high level. So whatever they feel is best for me, I'm going to do.
Thank you. Again, welcome to Boston.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Joseph Kaufman.
Hey, Jaelen, just you mentioned kind of the conversations you had with Coach Hartline at Ohio State, and it was going to be a fight to get on the field. The fact that you guys didn't really have much of spring ball at all this year, 12 of the 15 practices were canceled. Was that hard for you to not get a chance to maybe go through spring practice and put your best foot forward there?
Yeah, that was probably the biggest thing, not having that spring period to be able to prove myself. I was really looking forward to that, to be able to go in spring practice and show my worth and value or whatever. But unfortunately, the whole COVID situation happened, so that led to us shutting everything down. And that definitely was probably, I'm not really sure. If we had spring, I'm not really sure, where I'll be or what I'll be doing. I probably would still, be back at Ohio State, but, everything happens for a reason.
How did you feel coming out of winter, and then that first week of spring ball that you did?
You please repeat that one more time?
how did you feel coming out of the winter workouts and just the first week of spring ball that you did end up having in Columbus?
Yeah, I felt really good going through. I felt good going through winter workouts. Spring practice, like I said, I was really excited for it. I felt like I was ready to go, and but like I said, COVID had had other plans.
We'll go next to Courtney Cox with Nesson.
Hi, Jaelen. Welcome to Boston.
Thank you so much.
So talking about conference coming to the ACC, you mentioned 2 other schools from the conference that you were talking to. How excited are you to jump to this conference, and how are you excited to play within the conference?
I'm very excited. Big Ten and ACC are 2 very different conferences. I'm very excited, to play with my teammates. I believe, there's a lot of competition in this conference. There's some powerhouses in the conference. I'm excited to see, play against new faces and even people I was competing with in high school that went in the ACC. I'm excited to play against them, to get everything started.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Julian Benbow with Globe.
Right back at you. I had 2 quick ones.
Yeah.
Just because this feels – what is it like making a decision to transfer, leave home essentially for the first time, I'm guessing, in a pandemic?
It was definitely tough to make that decision to leave home. It was really hard on both my parents, my mother and father. So it was definitely tough. We had some long conversations, but they knew it was best for me. And them coming here and just seeing the area and just had talking to the coaches, they knew it was the best. It was the best decision for me and the rest of my family. So yeah. And as far as, can you please repeat your question about the COVID?
It's just how, doing it in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was definitely difficult. Leaving them, and you never know what's gonna happen. They're doing their best. They're following all the protocols to try to be as safe as possible. But at the end of the day, you never know. It could be a person you're walking next to or whatever. You never know when you can get sick. So it's definitely difficult leaving them, knowing that I can't, be there for them if something was to go down back at home.
I'm assuming the first, what has it been, almost 2 weeks now, just being back has been as normal as you can expect it to be, or how can you describe it, I guess?
Back to,
just the workout situation, yeah.
Yeah, everything's back to normal, yeah. The workouts are going really smooth right now. Like I said, about 2 hours. Coach Matu is, he's working us hard. He's getting our bodies back right, getting our legs back up under us. So, my body, I feel really good right now. I'm doing everything I can, to keep my body 100% and healthy. So yeah.
And I noticed you were a scholar athlete, new media major. And with the importance of player voices right now, I'm curious kind of how you see the major and that function in your life.
Communications?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that'll play, a big part of my life. I take academics very seriously. So, I know academics are taken very serious at this school as well. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to earn a degree from here. I'm excited to be able to use that degree, post athletics and all of that. So we'll see how it goes.
Cool.
We'll go next to Bill Landis with The Athletic.
Hey, Jaelen, I know that BC historically has had tailbacks that are kind of built much differently than you are, but I'm just wondering if that was part of the discussion at all with you coming over and ultimately how you see yourself fitting into the offense there.
Yeah, it was brought up a little bit just because, running back was what I played my whole life. That's where, most of my film is at right now. So, yeah, it was discussed a little bit. Like I said, I'm really learning every position, anything that I can, because I'm not exactly sure, where I'm going to be placed at. But it was brought up for sure.
Cool, thanks.
And looks like that'll wrap things up for today. So we appreciate everybody jumping on and talking to Jaelen. Thanks again, and everyone stay safe. Take care.
I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.